This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. During the next hour, the insane Daryl Wayne, he is back. It's wonderful. And I are going to take a look at a couple of things that I think touch each and every one of us. During the first part of our show, we're going to take a look at helping elderly people stay in their home. And we'll do that with the Chief Operating Officer of Assisted Living Services in Connecticut, Mario D'Aquila. And then we will also, during the second part of our show, we're going to take a look at ketamine. Now, this is a drug that's been around for decades, and it's being revived because people are using it recreationally. They are using it to combat a number of different issues, from pain to anxiety and depression. So we'll find out more about that during the second part of our show. Right now we go to Connecticut and we join Mario D'Aquila, the Chief Operating Officer at Assisted Living Services Incorporated. Mario, welcome back to Late Night Health.
Thank you for having me back today.
So, you know, I see stories in the newspapers. And yes, I still read a newspaper, and I also read online, and I hear and see stories about assisted living places. And they're not, you know, you could pay a whole bunch of money and your loved one may or may not be taken care of properly. Do you see that? And is that one of the better reasons to try to keep people at home, at their home?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's important to note that there's many different options for senior care. One of the options, of course, that we promote is at-home care, right? Particularly non-medical home care, which is something that we specialize in. And there's all different kinds of home care. There's skilled home care, where a nurse, physical therapist, occupational therapist can come in to kind of get you back on your feet, right? You know, give you a little bit of medical care in the home. Then there's a non-medical portion, which is what we do, and that's everything else. That is essentially where we would send in a qualified caregiver to help you get on with your day and live life to your fullest at home, right? Helping with everything from bathing to dressing, toileting, mobility, and even just companionship, and homemaking as well, cooking, cleaning, and things like that. And it's important to note that that's the home care piece. And that's for a lot of folks, right? A lot of folks want to use your place. But some people, listen, assisted living communities, independent living communities, long-term care communities, some folks, it's right for them too. I think it's just really important to know the differences and really understand where you want to be in life.
The company's been around for a while now. And if I remember correctly, it was founded because you had need in your own family to do that, for assisted, to assist a family member. Can you refresh us on that?
Certainly. You know, my great grandfather was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he's an older gentleman. I mean, he was in his 90s, but he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and you know, it's a progressive disease. It doesn't get better with age. It obviously gets worse with age. And you know, my mother really helped to coordinate his care throughout his life. And you know, she made a promise. You know, she said, like many people, you know, I'm not going to send him to any type of institutionalized living. He's not going to go to a nursing home. He's going to stay home no matter what. We're going to figure this out. And you know, we hired some caregivers to care for him, and you know, they cared for him really well throughout his life. And you know, eventually he passed. But you know, my parents said, "Gee, what a great idea! A lot of elderly folks need home care in the state. Let's open up a business. And here we are, from taking care of one grandfather to hundreds of great grandfathers and grandmas and moms and dads throughout the state of Connecticut.
You use the word elderly. And what is elderly? I mean, it could be,
yeah.
I know somebody who's 40 who is elderly, right?
Yeah. I think the terms, I think probably the most appropriate term for what we do is we care for seniors and aging adults who want to age in place. I think the word elderly is out of style, to be totally honest with you. But generally, folks that would need some physical help throughout the home, that's our target audience here, right? These are folks that generally can't live at home alone, where they would need some supplemental care to help them age in place. I think that's the best descriptor for where I'm going with this conversation.
Gotcha. Our guest is Mario D'Aquila. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Assisted Living Services Incorporated in Connecticut. You have 2 locations there. Mario, as we wrap up our first segment together, what should a family look at when they're hiring a company like yours? Okay, because we hear of senior abuse, we hear of people ripping off the person they're taking care of. How do you protect yourself from that?
Excellent question. I think what I want to impress upon to the listeners is that not all home care agencies are the same. They all should be registered with the Department of Consumer Protection, right? Because they're supposed to be. There are some that are underground. I think it's very important to note whether or not they are registered. I think that's key number one, because that's the right thing to do. And I think number 2 is that I'm a big advocate for going online and looking at what other folks are saying about that particular service. When you go on Google, does that company shine, or are there not so good of reviews, right? Testimonials are key, right? If an agency or a company does well for their clients and customers, people are gonna let you know. And they're also gonna let you know if they're not doing well for those folks too. I mean, you see on Yelp, right? Some of the best restaurants, right? They're rated highest. And the same goes for home care agencies. I think that's really important to look online and look at agencies that have positive reviews, ones that are detailed, ones that allow you to really see inside what kind of quality that company provides to your loved one. I think that's very important.
And what about when it's time to hire somebody? Can you, we call assisted living services. Can we interview a couple of people just to get a feel for people?
Absolutely. So, a lot of the times people say, hey, can we have a one-on-one meeting? Can we do an in-house consultation? Absolutely. We can do that, where you can meet the caretaker first. And, a lot of our customers are asking to do things via video call, via Zoom.
Right.
People are becoming more technologically savvy. Why not? I think it's a great way to be introduced to somebody. Just know that, all of our caregivers are, screened through a national background check. We have references that we really require, and all of our caregivers have to have experience in home care. I think that's really important, especially when they're doing one-on-one care with a senior.
When we come back after our break, we're going to continue with Mario, and we're going to find out more information about keeping seniors at home. All right. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We return in just a couple moments as Late Night Health continues.
Recently, I met Jacqueline from Bright here in Los Angeles. She gave me a hearing exam and then showed me how to hear again with the new Signia Pure Series hearing aids, and she can give you your life back too. I hear birds chirping, birds cooing, and even my wife. They easily connect to my smartphone. The Signia hearing aids are amazing, and with the charge and go, I don't have to fiddle with batteries and hear all day long. Not hearing is frustrating for you and your family. I know you don't have a problem, but trust me, call Bright Here now for a free hearing exam, a $125 value, yours free, just for making an appointment now. There are offices throughout the Los Angeles area. Call Bright Here now at 323-424-7100. That's 323-424-7100 for a free hearing exam. There's no obligation. Call now, 323-424-7100, or visit them on the web at brighthere.com. Late Night Health is proud of our partnership with the EBC, the Evolutionary Business Council. Check them out at ebcouncil.com.
You're listening to Late Night Health with Mark Alyn. The show continues in a moment. If you're listening to Late Night Health right now, you're part of the growing target of baby boomers we're serving. Hi, I'm Daryl Wayne, producer of Late Night Health, inviting you to join the Late Night Health family. If you have any business targeting the growing boomer market, Late Night Health is the ideal advertising vehicle for you. From vitamins to insurance, alternative health to Western-style medicine, Late Night Health caters to the growing population of those over 40 years old. This vibrant demographic has expendable income to fight aging, purchase travel, take care of aging parents, or just have fun. Find out about the advertising opportunities with Late Night Health. Call us at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308, or email us at info@latenighthealth.com. That's info@latenighthealth.com. Join Late Night Health as we empower people to take charge of their own health care. Call now at 805-391-0308. That's 805-391-0308.
Sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Words are a critical aspect of success. How you get your point across is a crucial part of what makes anything sell. So do it right and hire a writer. Whether it's articles, blog posts, technical writings, website content, product descriptions, or ghostwriting anything from a novel to a nonfiction book about your navel, contact Servet Hassan. If you want it to sell, write it right. Email Servet at servet@servethassan.com.
Late Night Health continues. I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. Be sure to check us out at latenighthealth.com. That's latenighthealth.com. Our guest is Mario D'Aquila. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Assisted Living Services. And we're talking about how do you go about hiring somebody to take care of your loved ones. You mentioned your great-grandfather had Alzheimer's and dementia. You have specialized training for your staff with a variety of disease states like Alzheimer's?
Definitely. So, when our caregivers are hired, right? Again, they do come with much experience. So we don't generally hire folks that don't have home care experience. But when they do come in, our orientation is very lengthy. We do ensure that they're trained to care for folks with Alzheimer's and other dementia-related disorders. And we have many different training opportunities throughout the caregiver's career with us. Every few months, we actually have in-person demo days where they can come in and actually use some mobility equipment. let's say that they wanted to learn how to use a patient lift or a Hoyer lift because they never utilized one throughout their training, they could come in. We actually have a specialist that comes in as well that'll train them on those specific types of equipment, which really proves to be invaluable for our caregivers and honestly for our management. I know we had a day where all of our management went downstairs and we trained on some of those pieces of equipment too, and it's really eye-opening to see what caregivers do in the home.
Have you worked in the home yourself?
I haven't, no, but I have consulted with the clientele. We know what the caregivers can do, and honestly, it's tough work what they do. And
It is.
we appreciate them for what they do. And not everybody could do it. It's a really special type of person that we hire to be a caregiver. And just to be a caregiver in general, you got to be a special person.
Here in Southern California, a large number of caregivers are from the Philippines. Are there any specific, and I'm not, the Philippines has the oldest medical school in the world, St. Thomas Medical School. And a lot of them come over here. A lot of people come over, especially women, and they're LVNs, RNs, and they have specialized training, but they can't use that license here, their education background. So they become home health caregivers. Is that the same in Connecticut, as far as you know?
In Connecticut, and particularly our agency, there are a whole host of different cultures from different ethnic backgrounds that do excellent care. However, I do want to highlight a few of our folks that are notable. Honestly, we have like my great grandfather had a woman from Ghana actually.
Wow.
And Ghanaian caregivers are fantastic companions. They do great care, as well as folks from Jamaica and Haiti as well. But again, I don't want to say that specifically, because we do hire many different folks that all do really great work for us.
That's very good. Let's talk about caring for a patient, caring for a parent. It's very difficult work, and when you're involved, you have your own life, you have your own kids, you've got work, you've got friends. It's hard to take care of a parent yourself.
It really is, Mark. However, I do want to state that there are programs in the state of Connecticut that can help family caregivers be paid for doing so. Up until these programs were founded, like you stated, it was just difficult for family members to be caregivers and not be reimbursed for it. And I'll kind of highlight some of these programs. So
Sure.
if the senior is on a Medicaid program through the state of Connecticut, they may be eligible for the Connecticut Home Care Program for Elders, which is administered through the Department of Social Services. And in this program, there's a special service line called the Adult Family Living Program. And in essence, if you live in with your loved one, you can be that person's foster caregiver and be paid for providing care to your loved one in the home.
Wow.
Yes. And it's a tax-free stipend. You can get a payment of really over $500 per week, all depending on the level of need for that person.
Wait, say that again. $500?
$500. Oh, yes, definitely. And essentially, the foster caregiver has a few qualifications, right? They do have to be 18 years or old or older. They have to be able to follow written and verbal instructions. And they also have to be able to report changes in the participant's health, okay? They can't be a legally liable relative. What does that mean? That means that they cannot be a spouse or a legal guardian, right? Because that person is supposed to just care for that person legally.
Right.
However, a niece, a nephew, a neighbor, a son, a daughter can absolutely be the foster caregiver if they meet those qualifications. And like I said before, they can get this tax-free stipend, by the way. I think that's really important to note. It is a tax-free stipend.
Wow.
Of $500 per week for caring for that individual in the home. And again, it's an adult family living program.
And I would imagine that many states have similar programs like that.
You know, a few of the states that I'll mention here do have programs similar to it. They are very similar to it, not exactly like it, but Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York, and Georgia all have similar programs to this adult family living foster care program.
That's very interesting. We'll have to check out if California does. We only have a couple of moments left, Mario. What would you recommend as a first step in taking care of a senior parent who most often than not would say, I don't need somebody to come in and take care of me?
Excellent question. I think that the first thing that I would recommend someone look into is the finances. You know, have you met with an estate planning attorney, right? Do you really know where your loved one's finances are? Because even though they don't need the care today, and they're saying they don't need the care today, they most likely will need the care in future years. And I think knowing where you are financially is going to be important, because honestly, home care, A, is very expensive, and B, if you catch it early enough where you understand the finances and the different programs that you can be eligible for, you can get on different Medicaid waiver programs. You can utilize your Medicare to your advantage. You can really do the research that's needed before it becomes an emergency, right? Because a lot of the times we'll get some of our customers or potential customers calling us when it's an emergency. Hey, mom's coming out of a rehab. We need somebody tomorrow.
Yeah.
How much is it, right? How much does this cost? Who can you send? And it's just too rushed, and I think people need to do homework a little sooner.
You need to plan. Mario, thank you very much. Look forward to another conversation with you in a few months. Again, Mario D'Aquila, the Chief Operating Officer at Assisted Living Services in Connecticut. And very quickly, what is your website?
Sure, it's www.assistedlivingct, as in Connecticut.com.
Got it. Thank you very much. We'll have that information up on our website, along with the picture of Mario as well. All right, I'm Mark Alyn, along with the insane Daryl Wayne, and we will be back as we talk about ketamine in just a couple of moments. Don't go away. More coming up.